Hello, my good viewers. Welcome back to episode 4 of this talk show of Agnes Nkanya Show. I'm your host, called Agnes Nkanya, and I've walked you through episode 1, 2, and the third episode. This is the fourth one. Those that have not yet watched the story of my journey can go back to the previous videos that are down here below in this platform, so that you can be able to walk in the same pace, be able to understand where I'm coming from and where I'm headed. So as I was telling you, I'm unstucking my life from seasons of pain to strength of my purpose. What are the effects after my parents chased me away from home? What are the effects? How did I get affected? People have been asking me this kind of a question so many times, and I hope they will get time to come and watch for them to stop asking me the same kind of questions. I'm doing this so that now anyone who had questions, who had rumors that are not true, to take time to watch and get to know the truth. So that when you're relating with me, you relate with me from an informed angle. You relate with me from a space of information, not from a space of propaganda and imaginations. So people have been asking me, what are the effects? How did it affect me after being chased away from home? And what I would wish to say is that after I was chased away from home, it felt like death. It felt like I'm dying the next minute. It felt like my funeral moment had come. It kept like everything was not making sense in my life. My emotions, my strength, my focus in moving forward was crushed. The other effect is that my friends, people I used to call friends, they ran away from me. It is very few people, very few. I can count them 1, 2, 3, 4. Very few who understood me and stood with me after I was chased away from home. Many of them saw me like a plague. Many of them saw me like I was smelling from a distance. Many of them saw me like I had something that is smelling all over my body. I don't know how they used to see me, because they distanced themselves from me in all dimensions. Whether it is on the road, when you meet them on the social places, you see how they look at you. Some of them, when you seek for help from them, some of them that have jobs, and maybe mtu anaweza kupatia kazi, they ignore you. I was rejected by friends. Relatives is another effect. They all rejected me. They all ignored me. They all pretended they don't know me. Apart from that one lady I told you about, my cousin, my first class cousin called Janet. She's an angel sent from above. Apart from that lady, she was not infected by what people used to talk about me. You see, my mom is that kind of a person. When she gets annoyed with you, she doesn't forgive easily, and she'll make sure her anger, she has infected the people that are around her life about you. She'll be telling them like, unaenda kuongea na Agnes. Haujui Agnes vizuri wewe. Haujui Agnes. Agnes atakufanyia, Agnes atakuambia, Agnes anakaa hivi, Agnes nilimfukuza nyumbani, Agnes iko hivi. That's she'll go poisoning people around her life, so that now they start seeing me as she sees me. I don't know whether you get it. She'll go poison her, giving negative report about me, so that now she can have a big team of people who hate me together. And now I can be left alone. That is what she did with my relatives, my aunties, my sister's mothers, my brother's mothers, from both sides of my mother and my father. That is what she did. So there was no relatives who supported me. I became an outcast, and it made me feel isolated. It made me feel like my time for living has come to an end. I was feeling like I can go to the moon and never come back, but I never knew how to go to the moon. My self-esteem was broken. There are those who take advantage of your situation. They mock you, or they belittle you. They find you as a very big burden. They bully you. They start talking to you rudely. They start talking to you with attitudes. They start treating you very, very nasty. So those are some of the kind of effects that that is what I was able to go through. And one thing I would love to tell the children that are being brought up in families where your parents are fighting. Whether your mom fights your dad fights your mom, you've tried to talk to them to change and they're not. One advice is that, or one wisdom is that your parents will never change their habit, not unless when they want to. They'll keep doing that, especially people who are in habits of fighting. They'll keep fighting over and over. It builds up as a pattern. I'm saying it builds up as a pattern because in my family, of Nkanya's family, my grandfather walikosana na bibi yake wa kwanza. They disagreed. He and the first wife disagreed, who is called Shosho Jane, and now he brought in a second wife. And from that disagreement of my grandfather and the first wife, he chased her from the family properties. Now, do you see this chasing, me being chased away from him, did not just come from nowhere. It is a pattern. My grandmother, my mother's father, was chased away from Nkanya's property. She was not given any land when she was marrying the second wife. When my grandfather was marrying the second wife, akupatia, he did not settle the first wife. Amwambia, kwako imekupea ile shamba pale, some few acres, nini nikujengea nyumba and all that. No. He chased her away from Kanya's family. He isolated her very far away. And my grandmother has been struggling with coming back to regaining her strength all these years. So she was able to come back to one of the sons who hosted her. So anaishingi kwa one of the sons ndio amemhost in his own compound, because in the long run akupewa a land to build. So simply my own dad, my father took over my mom, the mother, akamchukua akamweka kwa shamba yake yenye aligawiwa, because the mother was not given a place to call her own home by the husband Nkanya. So this thing about me being chased away from home did not just come just like that. Life is very spiritual, and if you see repeated patterns in your home happening in your own generations, things that happened long time ago happening right now in your own experience of life, get to know that that is a spiritual attack. You need to look for prayers. You need to look for build patterns of breaking that altar, build pattern of breaking those kind of curses, build pattern of breaking such kind of energies. And me coming out is one way I'm using of breaking those patterns. I'm creating awareness to the nations across the globe that we need to treat each other better. The issue of getting angry with your own sons as parents, and then you start chasing them away from home. It builds up as a pattern to the generations that are down in your lane. It builds up as a pattern to causing child and siblings rivalry. Because like me and my sister and my brother, we never get along. We don't talk. They don't talk to me. They were infected with a certain notion by my mother that they should not talk to me. So when I was just away from home, they have never called. They have never reached out to ask me, was I able to get back on my feet? They were not, they cannot even bring up a suggestion to my family. We hold a family meeting for reconciliation. No, they're just there. So I live in my own world alone. My mother has built a wall around my life that I cannot be able to access family meetings. I cannot be able to access nuclear family meetings. I cannot be able to access extended family meetings. I'm saying that, for example, when my sister was graduating in 2021, when we were having elections in 2022, because of that anger and bitterness my mom has around my life, she made sure that when they were going to KU to pick her up and celebrate her there in the university, that I'm not part of the people that were going. Can you imagine? Your own blood sister, you cannot attend our own graduation party, our own graduation function. How did I know the plans are happening? My cousin started calling me from home. Hello, how are you? Kwani ukuji kwa mpango ya your sister's graduation party na tunaenda Nairobi, hatuja kuona? Can you imagine? That is how I was able to know that my sister is graduating, from an outsider, from a third party. And then other community vocal people, they were in the same meeting. Hello, mheshimiwa, kwani hujakuja kwa mkutano ya kupanga your sister's your sister's graduation party na tunaenda Nairobi, sijakuona for the past 3 days. Na tuko huku tunapanga venye tunaenda. We are so happy for your family. They are so happy for my family, but they don't know we have battles within ourselves. Battles my mother has created. Battles my mother never want to let go. So that is how I was able to know that my sister anapangwa graduation party. And I was like, I talked to her, I reached out to her, and I was like, nilimchat via WhatsApp. Nikamuuliza, hey girl, you mean you have a graduation party and you're not telling me? Really? I was like, really? Hapo ndio tumefikishana as siblings. And I was like, it's okay. It is okay. It's even if it's not okay, it's okay. You can't control it. You can't push yourself in spaces where people don't want you. What will you do? So I had just to let it go. It was a learning process. That is one of the examples. Another example is when my brother was getting married to the wife he has right now. When they were planning to go and do the reporting, ile wazazi wanaenda kutembelea kwa kijana, wazazi wa kijana wanaenda kutembelea kwa kina wasichana. Family get together, they go, they organize things together. My mother made sure that I'm not part of that. As usual, I was told by neighbors, kwani sijakuona kwa mkutano yenye inapangwa about your brother's rurashio? Can you imagine? So my mom has tortured me in separating me from the family, and because of this respect that I have for her, I could not be able to confront her and ask her about it. I kept hurting and hurting and hurting. I've never talked about it. But today, I've said I'm using my story to create an awareness, to tell parents, stop doing these isolation things and separating children, the same siblings, from loving one another. It's not healthy, it's not godly. The same person who is doing all these things ni treasurer wa guild, inaitangwa PCA guild, Ndagoni church in Magumoni ward. Treasurer wa guild, women's guild. And the women's guild momentum that has been built in the society, it's a women organization where they have created an image that people are supposed to love one another, people are supposed to forgive one another, people are supposed to lift one another. That is the image of women's guild community. People are supposed to forgive one another, people are supposed to lift one another, people are supposed to not carry grudges, people are supposed to make peace in their families, people are supposed to unite their families. That is the message they are taught in the women's guild. And the funny thing is that when they teach these things, there are those who will not practice it. They just want to be seen with the uniform and the kitamba, the blue uniform. Mimi ni treasurer, mimi ni chair lady, mimi ni secretary, mimi ni for the society to see. So that now you have a name when either you're having wedding, whether your child is having a wedding, or whether you're being buried. Ukuwe na society to bury you, for you to be buried in a dignified way, for your family to be seen as a good family, for your family to be seen as a united family. Hello there. Hello there. Are your parents like that? That is the reality of our society. I've decided to use my own story to create a picture of what is happening in our societies. It's not like I want to look my family look bad, but it's the fact that I want to use my story to create an awareness of why families should forgive one another, of why families should let go of bitterness and anger and vengefulness. And through telling my own story, it is how people can be able to say, by the way, my mom behaves like that. By the way, my auntie behaves like that. By the way, my neighbor behaves like that. And this is how those families feel like. I think these people should change. So I'm speaking out these stories as a voice of reason, pushing people to change, to embrace forgiveness in families, to stop pretending in church how safe they are, to stop pretending how caring they are in the church, in the name of mimi ni treasurer wa guild, mimi ni chair lady, mimi ni secretary, mimi ni... People should drop that acting and be more real. Stop having the ideal picture of familia yangu iko hivi, I'm very well with my husband and my wife. If things are not working, accept them, they're not working. But you don't have to remain in that situation. Drop the ego. Call a family meeting, forgive one another, and move on. Open doors for blessings. God cannot release blessings where family are caged in anger and bitterness, because God says where there is unity, He commands His blessings. Where there is disunity, He takes His wrath and takes control to punish those that are not aligning with Him. The Bible says you cannot say you love God so much, yet you cannot love your own brother, yet you cannot love your own neighbor, yet you cannot show compassion and mercy to your own blood. That is not love. That is not Christianity. So whoever watch these videos, get to relate these things with your own, where you come from. Let's learn to do better as a community. Let's learn to do better as a nation. Let's learn to do better as a global scale village. Let's learn to treat each other people's better lives. This life is too short. When we were going back and forth with my mother, I told her, if it is about property, if it is about hizo nyumba zako utaki kunipea hata moja ama tatu, I be managing. If hautaki kunifungulia biashara, ni sawa. Ni sawa, madam. It is okay. Nikamwambia, if it is your property, it is okay. I'm not interested with your property. If you are looking for a way to remove me in your will of property, ati land, ati mtagawiwa wapi, you're looking for a way to find genuine reason of not adding me in your will of property inheritance. I gave her an outright. Hapo mbele ya OCS nikamwambia, kama utaki kuniweka in your will, I give you a green light, usiniweke. God will make a way for me to have my own properties. I don't know how, but I trust in God. Nikamwambia, Mom, I set you free. Stay with your property. Don't feel like you're caged, you're obliged to give me anything if you don't want. If your heart does not want to support me with your property, with your money, it is okay. And I set her free. Kamwambia the rest of my brother and my sister, if they are very better than me, put them in your will. Give them all your properties. Give them all your shops that you want. Give them your cars. Give them your everything. Give them everything. Even my dad, I set them free. And I told God, open doors for me that the glory will come back to you. The glory will not be owned by any man. The glory will be owned by God himself. So that's what happened. And one thing I've also learned about my journey through overcoming my pain is that society will tell you you're not supposed to talk about your family challenges in the public. You're not supposed to talk about your family challenges in social media. You're not supposed to talk about your family weaknesses to the neighbors. You're not supposed to talk about your family weaknesses outside there. It is okay to think that way. But now you have this kind of a family. You've tried to make them to have a voice of reason. You've tried to make them, you sit down, you talk about how you can forgive one another, the sense of reasoning on reconciliation, and how you can be able to put aside differences and become united. You've tried all your best mediation. I dropped the case that I had prepared against my parents. And then you wonder, what more do they want me to do? What more, how more do they want me to cooperate to show them that I honor them, I obey them, I respect them? Should I continue bottling up that pain within me in the name of Taibisha Familia? Should I continue hiding in my pain in the name of mama yangu ataibika, baba yangu ataibika? Now this is the third year since 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. Imagine all those years. I've given them time so that I see whether they will initiate a conversation of them owning up what they did to me. And now we sit down on how we can reconcile and forgive one another, but they have never. They have never. And I don't know whether they will ever. But anyway, the point here is society will tell you not to talk about your pain in the public. You should be tolerant about it. But I'm of a different school of thought. Let's stop normalizing fear. Let's stop normalizing bitterness and anger. Let's stop normalizing families fighting one another because of land and property in the name of ni familia, tutaibisha familia when you talk about it. If you try to talk about it within the family circle, mediation and everything, it has failed. Find other ways of talking about it. Like me, I'm talking about it here in the public for it to be an awareness, to let people know these things are there, these things are real. It's just that people are pretending in the communities that everything is okay and it's not. Let's normalize saying, I'm not okay. My mother is not treating me well. My father is not treating me well. My children we are disagreeing as parents and children. How can we find peace? So let's normalize encouraging fear. Let's normalize encouraging pain. Let's normalize issues of fighting one another and open more doors for reconciliations, for forgiveness, for supporting one another. No one of us is perfect. I myself am not perfect. My parents are not perfect too. No one in this world is perfect. But the moment some people, some parents have notions that they cannot sit down with their children and discuss on a reconciliation process, it is them. You as a child, you have always to go kneel down, always kneel down. Even if they spit on you, you kneel down. Even if wakukatakate, you go say, yes, yes, mommy, yes, daddy. Even if ukatwa shingo, unaenda unasema, yes, mommy, yes, daddy. Will they bury me in the grave as I say, yes, mommy, as I say, yes, daddy? Is that what the society wants? If God did not give me this grace to be strong and overcome what I've gone through, would I be here today talking about this? Or I could be 6 feet under, having destroyed my life through drug and substance abuse. Why do you think so many young people in the society are committing suicide? Because some families don't want to have a voice of reason, of negotiations, of peace, of coming together. Put your differences aside and find a neutral place where the two of you can merge. Some families just want to control their children. They cannot give them an option of how they can reconcile. So I'm talking on behalf of such kind of families. If you're blessed to come from a family where you have reconciliation, where your parents love you, where your parents pick you up when you're down, that is a blessing. Count it as a blessing. Count it as a miracle. Some people are longing to have warm families. Some people are missing to be invited in their homes for Christmas holidays. Can you imagine when every time Christmas from 2022, I don't go at home. I don't go for Christmas at home. I don't go for Easter holidays at home. I don't go for I promised myself I'll not get emotional on this. So forgive me for seeing my emotional side of all this. I don't want it to look like that I came crying on camera and all that. No. Just sometimes these things take a snap on me when I keep talking about it. The issue is that what I'm sharing is a reflection of what most of the young people are going through in this nation, across Africa and across the globe. If You cannot be able to go in your own home for Christmas holiday. When the schools have closed, you cannot access your family. God created us as social beings. I cannot be able to socialize with my sister. I can't socialize with my cousins. I can't socialize with my mother. I can't socialize with my dad. What do you think I feel? So let's stop normalizing these things and create enabling environment for one another to rise, to reduce the cases of drug and substance abuse, to reduce the cases of suicide, to reduce the cases of premature death in this nation. So far, we've covered those two questions. And the last question we're going to cover in this series is how does it feel to start all over again from scratch? Yeah, I just had to take a breather before I answer that. Starting all over again from scratch, when you're an adult, when you're in your youthful age, because that is where I am, is a very difficult experience. I used to be relying on salary of monthly payslip. I used to have a family that I used to talk to, that I used to engage with. I used to have friends. So all these things snatched away from me because of my dreams, because of my ambitions, because of my visions. It has not been an easy journey to transition from the previous me to the new me that I'm becoming. It is not an easy journey. It has been a very painful journey, getting to deal with low self-esteem, getting to deal with being rejected, getting to deal with knowing how to come out of seasons of wilderness. It has not been easy. Starting all over again is a very stressful and painful journey. But all in all, I've practiced quick acceptance of situations that I cannot control, situations that I cannot be able to change. I've trained my mind to let go very fast, to let go of conditions or situations that I cannot be able to control or be able to make them become better. I usually let go, and I train my mind to forget about such kind of people, such kind of situations. I choose to see everything bad from a good angle. Like now in this season, not many people who can have courage to come and share to the world what I'm sharing about, talking about your pain, talking about your frustrations, talking about your shame to the world. I have thought it now to turn this pain into purpose, to see the goodness that can come out of it. I can use my story, as bad as it looks, to teach another family how to treat one another better. I can use my story to teach another young person who is going through kind of a similar kind of a season how to overcome such kind of frustrations of life. I can use my story to make another person think differently of the season that they are in. So I've learned to take everything bad that comes in my life, to see it as a good point of learning, as a good point of seeing things differently, as a good point of knowing people better. This season has taught me that in overcoming crisis, you have to know who really you are. Your self-identity will be revealed. Those who view my videos, they give me also hope to know that things are going to be better, that I'm not alone in this journey. You might not know the value of how much you make me feel re-energized. So your views, your sharing, your subscribing gives me a lot of energy, a lot of strength. So keep viewing, keep sharing my videos widely. Let's connect, let's build each other, let's change our society together, let's transform lives together. I love you so much for them that will stick up to the end. And bye-bye. Let's meet on the next episode of Unstacking My Life from Season of Pain, Unstacking My Life from Season of Scars to my Season of Purpose. So the next episode, we will deal with the question about whether I will ever forgive my parents and go back home. The other question is about, did I have any savings after elections? And how am I financing my personal life in day-to-day basis? So that one is what you're going to handle in episode 5 and episode 6. So keep it locked here for you to get more update of my journey, for you to learn something, for you to get to be inspired to think differently. Keep it tuned here and keep it locked here at Agnes Nkanya Show, where we are transforming lives, where we are inspiring lives, where we are building positive energy. Bye-bye.